I rolled my window a little bit. I'm gonna wait for everybody to get in. How you doing? Hey, cool gamer. I am live from my car. My son is at his first soccer practice for school, so I am sitting here, and I heard that on YouTube, if you live in your car, it gives you a lot of subscribers. So I'm thinking about just living here in my car. Hey, Anio. Hey, Solo. Son, so done with it. Unique trauma obsessed. It's good to see you guys. So, was there an official press conference or was it just Adventures with a Purpose speaking? Because I did just catch Adventures with a Purpose for the most part. I thought it was an excellent little stream, and I thought that they did a phenomenal job just kind of updating everybody as well as giving people credit where credit is due. But I was curious, did they? Oh, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, I can't get pregnant anymore, so that's gonna pose a problem. No new info. Okay. Um, I have some unpopular. I don't necessarily know that they're unpopular opinions, but my thought. So there's a lot of blaming law enforcement, right? Of well, they didn't see it. How could they have missed it and all that? So I do understand the frustration. I do understand that, hey, Gizmo, that, there's every right to be frustrated. Oh, awesome, Annie. To our brains, it doesn't make sense why she could be that, how she could be that close and be missed. Um, but I think it's important to note that we don't necessarily know, like, they don't have some of the equipment that Adventures with a Purpose have. Like, I didn't even know there was such thing as magnets that can be used, I guess, after they locate the vehicle or something along those lines, that if a body's in there, somehow I don't know how it works, but somehow it works. And I only know that part of it is because um, people were trying to get Alexis's gay parents to use them, Adventures with a Purpose, and they said that they mainly focus in water and that they have like a magnetic thing. That's how they located Kiely's body. So, with that being said, right, Annie, and right, so done with it. And so, I think the equipment is just so vast. And so we can say, right, so we can say 14 feet is nothing. It's so it's so nothing. But you have to look at water levels, like Annie's saying. You often also have to look at the fact we're thinking 14, um, 14 feet, at least for me. I'm thinking 14 feet in a pool. Okay, so yeah, we can see clear to the bottom in 14 feet of a pool. Um, but as a couple people pointed out, Punkette being one, when a vehicle enters in and stuff, it's just it's so murky. There's just a lot of factors I think that we need to be gentle. Hey, Beatlemaniac, about how we approach it, and I just think that I don't think that law enforcement went out. The question asked about more than one body in the car. The police paused and nodded his head yes, but said no. Wow. Okay, Anio. Really? So done with it? Yeah. I just don't think we can just. Hey, Bexy, I was just wondering about you. I was hoping you were okay. Hey, Pamela. Hey, MJ's Life. That's interesting. And you do remember that we found out last night that there was actually 4 people in her car charging their phone. Okay, LFT, awesome. I just don't think that that law enforcement went out not to find her, I guess is my opinion. And just I think at the end of the day, hey, Caddy, Texas, Adventures with a Purpose is amazing at what they do. And we just saw that. They are amazing at what they do. And somebody just said it. Who said it? That they weren't just focused on Prosser Lake. That is true as well. And I remember that Adventures with a Purpose said they did have some knowledge of why they were searching where they were, something along those lines. So Yeah, MJ's life for sure. It is pouring, and my son's out at practice. It's and sorry, my ADD, and I'm telling you, like they just are running around and round and around for conditioning, and it makes me want to vomit. But anyways, they wouldn't comment on a log of different scenarios, which I'm glad that they. Yeah, so I do. They are amazing, Gizmo. You're right, tattoos. Well said. I can't tag anything because I'm on my phone, but your credit. They have a niche market. I think law enforcement was part of what got them there. I think they knew they were just in over ahead. I mean, we've seen the area, y'all. It is insane. Now factor in 300 kids that are unwilling to talk and being downright stubborn about it. And yeah, that's definite. It's an issue. Yeah. And then, everybody's so I have the other unpopular opinion of, hey, essay, everybody said, well, now we got to quit blaming Sammy and the other kids at the party. I'm not blaming necessarily her because at the end of the day, Kylie chose to drink. And if I'm still not, I've got to see things develop. I want to get her cause of death before I say anything as far as you're gonna have to give me a cause of death, and really solidify things for me to believe it was accidental. I do too, Annie. Which has been. I don't know. That's a good question, Pamela. But my issue is that I understand Sammy was 16. She chose to drink. She chose to, if she did drugs, she chose to do those things. I get she has a personal responsibility. But these kids, some of them weren't kids. I mean, technically, some of them weren't kids. We think of them as kids, but there is still a level of responsibility with the fact that they did leave her. I can't say that I would have. I don't know what I would. I wouldn't. No, I would. We never did when we. Yeah, don't drink and drive. It's the end of the day. But yeah. But I don't necessarily think we need to drag her on YouTube. That I feel bad for. I do think she enjoyed the limelight, and she was in over her head and didn't realize the degree that this would take off. Was she tattoos? Exactly, Annie. So I do struggle with that, and I do think that her parents are, I mean, maybe not, I don't know, but if as a mom I would have a little bit of a hard time coming to terms with some of the things of why did you leave my kid, but I get it. Well, so MJ's life, that's part of it, but I think she kept getting herself in so much trouble by saying things like yesterday when she said we haven't got any confirmation that it's or Kylie and stuff. Everything she said was just like going viral, and so the only thing I can think of, hey Brandy, good to see you, is that she was just getting. I gotta shut my window. What in the world? Oh, I gotta turn the cover. Okay. They're teenagers. I have a full house. They don't think rationally. Yeah, so done with it. They do feel they're invincible and nothing's gonna happen. And I do believe, essay, that I hope that they get to the bottom of who bought them the drugs and alcohol. Because we know that allegedly, according to Sammy, Kylie brought alcohol. Well, Kylie's not walking into a store at her size and stuff and buying alcohol from a fake ID. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Yeah, it was interesting. I know Jagger, whatever his name is. So is it my understanding he was actually he's 20? That looks awful. There, so yeah. Yeah, the problem was, Annie, and part of why I think the actual parents have remained away from this crap show that it's become is because the parents were smart. From day one, right when this broke, mom said, I'm getting off social media. I'm off. And she hasn't been on, and she just like went off social media. And they have stayed away. And I think that is the reason that a lot of it has they've been able to be a little bit protected from that. But yeah, Sammy definitely did it. Yeah, they are tattoos. Now I will say that the mom and dad the day before she was found, I believe Saturday, a statement was issued from them that said that her parents were just exhausted from the limelight and they really, really, really needed to step back and focus on their self-care and some healing, and just it was getting just the constant interviews, the media and everything was really getting to them. I don't know. So somebody said that Adventures with a Purpose allows the family to be there when they pull the car out of the water. I don't necessarily, I don't know if they were there or not when they pulled the car out of the water. I mean, I would assume so. I think so, Trisha. I think he cared. I think that they probably were not together because of her, not because of him. Like she might have broken. I don't think that it sounded like he was still pretty in love with her. Um, so somebody came into chat last night. Were they, Penny? Okay, so I did, Penny. I wondered that because I did see. So when Steve, the private investigator, who's the one that told Grandpa and the dad, that they had found her, Adventures with a Purpose, and that he had posted something that said he was on his way out of Prosser for the last time. It was coming out of the lake road, that they were just about to pull her car from the water and he did not need to be a witness to that, which was very cool. I thought that he respected that privacy, and that hey Brett, and that he had connected Grandpa with Dad, and so it did sound like they were there. And I could see two people that were men that looked like they were in street clothes of some sort. Um, so I wondered if that was maybe like Dad and Grandpa. As a mom, I wouldn't be able, you would be trying to stop me from running in the water. Like, so I'm glad that they knew their limits as far as that goes. Um, I mean, I think that, so at the end of the day, we might be looking at something that's just as simple as she drove drunk, and instead of turning right, she turned left and she drove into the water. Yes and no, Pointer Lover. There was a lot of factors. I didn't know about it until afterwards. I saw a video where they were standing and watching. Yeah, that's what I thought, Beatlemaniac. I thought they would. Yeah, see, that would have been the hard time. You're right, Trisha. That would have been my downfall, is you would have had to stop me from running into the water, even though she's like deceased. I just would have wanted to get her out. And so I'm curious. I do have a question. I don't know much about this kind of stuff. And again, I said this is like the first case I've ever seen Adventures with a Purpose. So there's images flying around of, okay, Annie, that's what I figured. I know, tattoos again. So that's the other thing. I have so many thoughts on this, and this is just kind of, we're just going to kind of dissect our thoughts. I I don't think we can fully comprehend unless we've been a coroner, we've been even funeral home directors. I've talked to them once, and they say that like they are only prepared to a point. When it comes to kids and you have kids come in, like it's just a whole different ballgame. So to find a child like that in a car, I just can't imagine. But when they obviously images are circulating of the car being pulled out. Now, when they pulled out the car, there was footage of the front seat and the back was tarped. She was not in the front seat. So does that mean that they pulled her out before she was in the water or out of the water, or was she in the back seat, I guess was my question. Who tattoos? I missed your comment. Hold on. Oh wow, tattoos, really? Wow. She wasn't in the front seat. She wasn't buckled. Was she trying to get out? I know, Lynn, I did it for you. I did. No, my kid has soccer practice, and I was like, I'm going to talk. I'm going to go live in my car. Y'all, I have to tell my brain right now, I have to tell my brain in this situation that she was in the back seat because of impact. I can't tell my brain that she was trying to get out. That would, oh, Bexy, I know. That's my fear. And that to me, that to me is because, a lot of us were thinking we hope she just blacked out and didn't know what happened. But that is, and again, that goes back to what Michelle said and other people have said in this chat. Please, please, y'all, take the $7. Please take the $7 and invest in the tool that Adventures with a Purpose promotes that will break the window. We have water lungs, yeah, not. Yep, right, Trisha. Exactly. So I'm just kind of going over my thoughts because the autopsy will tell a lot. Hey, Emily. Really? Tattoos. That's true, Beetle. So one thing people were like, why was it upside down? And I looked into that too. And as I said last night, the motor, it says when the motor is heavy, it's front heavy, and because the motor's in the front, that when a car enters the water, it automatically starts to like nosedive because of weight, and they almost always flip then underwater. I don't know. Her windows looked broke. That's the other thing. Her windows looked broke. Hold on, I gotta see the comments. I heard a few people say they ate really pennies for thoughts. She never. Man, if she never apply. Lynn, I don't know. I do. I go back and forth. At the end of the day, deep down, I think it's going to be simpler than we think. And I think it's going to be that she just had no idea where she was going. And she just turned right and was probably had her eyes barely open, and it was pitch black, and she drove in. But this case has been extremely strange from the beginning. So I think that, like Trisha said, it's all going to come down to whether the car was in driver neutral, whether, right, exactly, tattoos, or whether there was water in her lungs. Yeah, that's the thing. And I think that the phone is going to be really huge. So I hope that was in the car. I don't know about y'all, but I watched for the majority. I was pleased that the news crews cut out when they actually removed the car for the most part. I had a hard time, so I imagined that was why she was in the back seat, right? They tarped that part. But I don't know about y'all, but I felt like I went so back and forth from like I felt like an invasion of their privacy, but then when I realized they were going to tarp it, I felt better about that. Hey, Danielle. Oh, by the way, hey, Mo. Um, I just struggled these pictures that are floating out where we see the front seat, like I have a hard time because we know she's like now we know she was back there. And there's just something about that. Like, is it just me or is it just my mom heart that is like, that mother is looking at that picture and she knows that her baby is inches from that front seat passed away. It's just a wild thought to me. Yeah, Sammy, I struggle with Sammy. I don't want to see her dragged because her whole life is different now. Her whole life, I don't want to say forever, is different now. Yeah, Pointer Lover. I heard a couple people confirm that Grandpa and Dad were there. Sammy's whole life is is changed. It's changed. I wished that somebody, whether it be her parents, I know she was essay. That's where I'm at. The final. That's where I'm at. That's where I was at with it. These pictures. I don't know why. I get it. Right. We need to. This is what news is. This is what they do. It's just so hard for me to see. But that girl's life was changed because. Oh, really? Was it tattoos? Well, right, right. Well, I'm glad for that. Where's mom? I'm surprised too. So that's what I'm saying, MJ's life. I wished somebody, even though she's 18, would have stepped in and said, girl, shut up. Like, no, no, do not go on that YouTube channel. Do not go on that YouTube channel. Do not give one more interview. Stop talking. Megs did. Oh, for sure. Took what, Annie? I think I missed something. What was taken out of her car? I might have missed a comment. I'm just trying to see what was. um, I think that I don't know that I'm not right. Tattoos. Agree, Black Cat. Agree. Yeah, tattoos. Doesn't it? It. I know. Just and maybe her family feels like, in some ways, like kids. This should be an eye opener for you. What you're watching right now. So, um, yeah, yeah, Annie. So that's where it is. For me it's the picture that really, really, really gets to me. And I get it. I understand this is what we do in America. This is what we do. I just whenever I look at it, I think she's right there, passed away. It's just difficult. I'm not sure, Mo. From my understanding, when they and yeah, Solo, I wish somebody would have cared enough. And in my case, in my opinion, I don't know her relationship with her family, but they needed to step forward and stop her from doing the interviews. I know she's 18, but um from my understanding, when AWP gets the reward, they usually either somebody said they donate it back to the families. Yeah, I've heard they often don't take it or that they donate it back to the families. So to be quite honest, I will be thoroughly surprised if they take the reward in this situation because I just don't see it. And if they did, I think they would give it right back to Kiely's parents because I think it, came directly from them. Yeah, that's what I heard too, Annie. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, Britt, but I do know that their next, apparently their next case is going to be Julissa, and we're gonna start her tomorrow because I forgot my son had practice today, so I can't start today, but we're gonna start tomorrow. Well, that's good, Mo. That's good. Um, no matter how you slice it, it wasn't the outcome anybody hoped. But I think it's explainable about where she was found based on that because somebody at the beginning had said that they think she might have just turned right or wait, yeah, wait, if she was coming out that way. I can't remember what it was, but that she just turned the opposite way of what she was supposed to turn and that she ended up in the lake that way. And the boat ramp didn't make a lot of sense to me because it was such like I didn't see how she would have made the turns that she did to get to the boat ramp, but where you see that she went off, it was pretty, I mean, obviously, but it was pretty straight, just right down. On Grizzly. Wow, Beatlemaniac, that's cool, I think. Yeah, tattoos for sure, for sure. I think it's definitely good for the family or for teens and stuff to see. Um, was she to the left of the boat? She was to the right of the boat ramp, I believe. If you're coming down the boat ramp, she was quite a ways, just the others, like to another point. Is what I Annie, I'm going to agree with you on that 100%. I do. I did not like that. I thought that was poor taste. But we're also talking about the media who released um body cam footage with children screaming despite parents pleading for them not to do it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the media is pretty ruthless when it comes to that. But I do believe that the last moments of, yeah, because that's where like her dad and her grandfather had to see that. And obviously, when they pulled her up, I'm sure they saw her. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. It's just a haunting image to always have to see, I think. But it does sound like her parents are, or at least her mom and stuff, are staying away from social media and probably a lot of like seeing things. I have not heard a statement issued yet from her family, but they might have. I just haven't heard it. Yeah, I mean, somebody definitely zoomed in on that. Oh, wow. Seriously, Annie? Hey, Michelle K. Oh, yeah, I don't like that. I thought the media did that. Dang. I worried that somebody was gonna, because of where they pulled it out, and since she was like in the back and they tarped the back, I was like, somebody is going to have the technology to get a picture of that from the front window. Somebody is going to get a picture of her. I just had this horrible feeling. But now that I know that makes sense. I knew somebody. Oh, see, yeah, no, I don't like that. They were tattoos. I thought when I saw them tarping it, I thought, oh my gosh, they are going to show this entire thing. But then they cut off. And so I was at least pleased that they were respectful enough to stop her parents. Yeah, I don't think her parents are that old. Wow, Annie. I think they were a very close family. Um, and they are rocked. They are rocked. And there's a lot of kids that are rocked. I mean, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a complete tragedy. And I would like to say that I don't think anytime soon there'll be a lot of parties down there, but who knows? I do think that there's a lot of unanswered questions that need answers, starting with, if I were her parents, and they might not, I would want to know who provided alcohol and the drugs. Now, I'm going to guess the drugs they said were older kids, and maybe the alcohol was as well. But if Kiely, in fact, did have alcohol, somebody bought it for her. So I think tomorrow is going to be a really, I don't know, a lot's going to come from tomorrow, and a lot's going to come from the toxology report. But tomorrow, especially, will determine whether or not she was. Now, if I'm correct me. Remember, I don't know a lot about this whole drowning stuff, but if she has water in her lungs, that means she was alive when she went in. If right, and if she doesn't, it means she was deceased before. Is that accurate? Am I remembering that correctly? Correct. Okay. Do they, Emily? Yeah, I think they're super respectful. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Y'all, this is a horrible thought because if she doesn't have alcohol in her lungs, it means she passed away before she went in the water. And as much as I don't want that to happen because I know that that opens more questions, at the same time, I don't want to think she struggled and was still alive. I don't know. There is no winning in this situation, I think, regardless of how it. Oh, I bet MJ's life. Oh, really, Annie? Yeah, Mo, they did that in at my high school as well. I don't think she ever would have made it like home. I think she would have only made it so far. I'm not saying she would have been killed, but I think she might have ended up in a ditch or I don't know if she was that. Yeah, Black Cat. I believe that for sure. I believe that there are definitely some things that are unanswered, and that is one of them. Exactly, Len. I mean, to make a wrong turn like that. So the other thing is, I don't think she had ever gone to a party down there. So I will say that she might have been not extremely familiar with that area. Um, and we have to remember her Snapchat was active at 12:30 or around there, something like that. So I don't know. Was she using GPS? Annika, that's a possible too. Like, was she using GPS? Was she not? I mean, was she active because she picked up her phone to use GPS? The other part I have a hard time with is she was supposed to be home at 12:30 and she wasn't even leaving till 12:30. And so if she was that anxious about getting in trouble by her mom, why would she have, if she was that anxious about getting in trouble with her mom that she wanted to risk driving home, why wouldn't she have cared that she was leaving at 12:30, or why didn't she at least call her mom to say I'm late? Like those are questions I don't understand. Yeah, Solo, right. Me too. I think a lot of answers are on the phone. Yeah, so yeah, Annie, that's the thing. Sammy said she spoke to Kiely at 12:36, and that's not physically possible because we now know that her last ping was like 12:33 by the lake. So unless Sammy has some supernatural talking ability to people under the water, that's not true. I don't think so, Emily. I think that's fairly easy. Yeah, I mean that was just that's a huge lie because she was. Yeah, because her phone was shut off by that time, which means it probably shut off when it hit the water and it shorted out. So I would say at 12:33 her phone shorted out, which means at 12:33 she went in the water. Now, will they be able to tell a time of death? I'm just curious. I mean, I'm sure they'll estimate it around that time. I think one of the biggest things it's hard to believe and that I struggle with is that 300 kids saw this girl that drunk, and not a one of them helped. Not a one of them said. So somebody said to me, "What? Some girl gets drunk and then they're supposed to babysit?" No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be a decent freaking human being. If you see somebody smashed out of their mind, And we know there was older kids there, right? Late 20s. Not one of those late 20-year-olds thought, some of them probably had children and were just there partying. Not one of them thought, um, I don't know who that girl is, but yeah, you can't let her drive home. You can't let her drive home. And what about the boy that says that when he fell asleep, the boy that allegedly said when he fell asleep at 1:30, her car was there? What happened to that? Well, that was a lie, obviously. So all these kids are lying. I agree, Mo. I agree 100%. I just think not one of you 300 kids. I'm not saying babysitting. I'm just saying I'm not even saying it was their fault. I'm just saying, come on. See something, say something. And that's the other thing, Black Cat. We don't know how drunk she was. This is according to Sammy, right? And according to that Ronnie guy who has cousins, and I don't take any stock in what that whole situation is because that's just ridiculous. But and right, this is according to Sammy that said she was that drunk. Yeah, I just find it very hard to believe that no one said anything. Right, Lynn? Exactly. Exactly, Danielle. Exactly, SA. And I'm just saying, some of those we've heard some of these guys were 20, late 20s. I mean, I'm sure they're those are grown freaking adults, and none of them thought to just be a decent human being. I don't understand that at all. Are they MJ's life? Yeah. I think now that she's found and stuff, I think kids are gonna start saying something. Yeah, that's cool. MJ's life. Oh, I'm sweating in here. I don't know. Yeah, Bexy. I just I can't say all 300 of these people were 18-year-old kids without a brain. I mean, when you're 28 years old, I think you're 28 years old, you're at a party like that, providing things for kids, like, irresponsible. Well, that's what I mean. Like, Sammy was said Kylie was too drunk for herself to drive her. I don't know. There's just so many things I just don't understand. And maybe we never will, but I think we will get answers. I think we will. I think we will. But all right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna hop off of here and watch my kid and do some schoolwork, and I will catch up with you later. And if anyone please, if anyone sees anything, couple announcements. If anyone sees anything, please let me know. So Bex, you'll be interested in this. So tomorrow we're gonna go over Jalissa's case, and Wednesday evening, Rob Trevino, who does some of the interviews with the Uvalde parents, and who is also Ileana Torres's cousin, who was, tragically murdered, and Uvalde he is going to be on the show. Obviously, he's still having a difficult time, so he's not going to be on super long, but he is nonetheless going to join us. So we're going to be able to talk to him for a little bit. So lots of things coming up, and obviously we're going to keep updated on the Kylie situation, and just, keep praying for her family as well. See something, say something. That is the biggest message. One of the biggest messages we continue to get is see something, say something. That's it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Thanks, y'all. Bye.